Most people want an ego liberated from suffering, but they don't want a consciousness liberated from the ego. This is the problem that even yogis seem to have. You can't reach liberation from suffering without annihilating the ego illusion, because the ego is the source of suffering. But it's also the source of the crumbs of jouissance that the consciousness holds on to, that give it an illusion of some kind of control, power, enjoyment, and ability to think its way out of difficult situations that it doesn't want to let go of in order to achieve the beatitude of union with God. But it is only the extinguishing of the ego illusion that will bring liberation from our pain and our destiny of going around the wheel of rebirth again and again. And this is the moment, the last moment, in which liberation is attainable. The window of opportunity will close, at least in a practical sense, when the situation becomes more extreme, as it will very soon. So the Tao is the way of achieving that liberation. And that's what we want to focus on. Actually, the Tao has two foci. I should probably elaborate on both of them. So the Tao of non-action, the Tao of action that is non-action, the Wu Wei, this is the use of the principles of spirituality in order to know how to navigate through the world so long as the body is alive, and how to act in such a way to optimize the outcome of the events in your life, how to make wise decisions, how to act at the right moment without waiting too long so that the window of opportunity closes on you, how to know which is the right fork in the road to take. All that wisdom, that intuitive function of the mind that comes from the transcendent connection to the Atman can only be opened, awakened, and accurately perceived by the Buddhi at the Viveka point. So this is an assemblage point just beyond the reach of the ego. So we have to get at least into soul consciousness to have that Tao of action to be activated. And the Tao of liberation requires, of course, going even beyond that. So the first level of the Tao, we could say, is the focus on how to live, how to make decisions, how to persevere, how to have the ability to connect with other people in a way that maximizes cooperation and the achievement of collective goals and of maintenance of harmony in a community, for example. So all of that is part of this level of the Tao. The Tao is the general intelligence that opens up at the soul level, that enables us to know what to do and what not to do, and to enable us to read other people, to know who we should even be making connections with, and what connections could actually lead to adverse effects, to use that phrase in this context. Because there are people whose karma and whose projections are so negative that a naive kind of connection will lead to you being the toxic waste dump of those negative energies. And one has to know how to deal with that with compassion and wisdom, but at the same time without being a victim. So there's a dharma of great subtlety that's involved in recognizing the Tao. One has to be free oneself from negative energies in order not to inflict them on other people as well. So there's an ethic that is a part of the Tao, and a need to have a very strong moral courage to not make judgments, negative projections, accusations, etc., without blinding oneself to what is happening at the subconscious level and in the stream of karma and sanskaras of other beings. So to be able to be of optimal help to them, but also to not get entangled in any streams of, let's say, karmic obligation that could hinder one's ascension and one's development in the world, free of ultimately the kind of negativity that creates a hostile, dependent relation to others that is a lose-lose for all parties in a relationship. So there has to be a great deal of the power to recognize that love often has to mean leaving, not staying, not going back, not trying to rescue, but separating in order to reach a high enough state that one is able to help the other rather than to be trapped in the other's frame of reference, in which the projections on one actually disempower one and cause one to lose the ability to really serve the other that one's own love has caused one to go toward in order to be of help. So there's a lot of self-sabotage that happens at the ego level through its ignorance of its own limitations, its wishful thinking, and its inability to see clearly what its true duty is in relation to God and in relation to humanity, to family systems, and to social orders, etc. All of that has to be put into the right perspective in order for clear and accurate decisions and assessments to be made. So that's that level of the Tao. And I just wanted to outline it tonight, but that's part of what's in the book that we're going to be studying. But for us, particularly as Sat Yogis who are on the path of ascension, it is very important that we not fall from the Viveka point in order to be able to live in that level of the Tao and keep the community free from those kinds of negative projections that can create schisms and create the kind of, let's say, negative karmic detritus that produces a bitter taste in the energy field. We have to keep the honey of divine love flowing in order to keep the community successful and able to thrive in this time in which hatred and anger and all the other negative energies are at loose in the world, so that we're not contaminated by them. So that's all I think I'll say for this evening on the Tao of non-action. But I hope that's a useful orientation that will help you see that focus in the book as well. But the other focus is the Tao of liberation, and that's what I'd like to speak more about this evening, because that's our primary responsibility and hopefully our primary inspiration and intention to attain.